This is the Entrepreneurs Series. This series of reports is designed to educate you around specific business tasks. Today, we're going to focus on how to develop your investor pitch and presentation, telling people about your business story and about how you lock investment, plus recruit people and resources to start or accelerate the growth of your company. Every investor presentation will be different based on the audience for the pitch. The knack is to adapt the presentation from meeting to meeting. The investor presentation is a guide for you as you present, but it is also a sales brochure for you and your business. It is often a person's first impression of you and your business, so make it impressive. Jerry Wiseman, who was an early pioneer in coaching companies for their initial public offering, known as an IPO roadshow, like Cisco in the early 90s, observed that investor presentations are won and lost in the first 30 seconds. See Jerry's great book, Presenting to Win. An IPO is an initial public offering where the shares in your business are listed on a stock exchange, and during the IPO process, institutional investors are pitched to, typically in back-to-back meetings with 20 to 40-minute pitches, and off the back of that, they invest either millions, tens of millions, or hundreds of millions of institutional funding in your business. It's like Angel's Den, but on steroids. The first impression is a short impression, and like a tabloid newspaper headline, it must grab the attention of the audience, so they are impelled to want more. If not, the rest of the presentation is just polite banter, and that first impression should be a 10 to 25 word statement of the core value being delivered by your product or your company. We call this the elevator pitch. Think of the elevator pitch as what you would say if you only had 30 seconds or a minute to explain what your idea is and why it matters to a stranger when you're in an elevator. This description typically explains who, what, why, and how of the idea in an engaging way, so it ensured that it is remembered. I use the example of the striped lawn. Imagine sitting in your deck chair, glorious summer day with your Pimm's and lemonade, ice and a slice next to your lovely wife or husband, looking at your beautiful striped mown lawn on an idyllic, perfect British summer's day. What I'm not telling you is it took years to get the grass to look like that, removing the concrete, then the building site, laying the earth, the turf, growing the grass, those bloody moles that created mounds in the grass, destroying my stripes. I'm selling you the end game, the vision of health and happiness. Just like the classic advertising slogans, the message is delivered with panache and clarity. Kit Kat, have a break, have a Kit Kat. De Beers, a diamond is forever. MasterCard, priceless, for everything else there is MasterCard. Nike, just do it. L'Oreal, because you're worth it. And my favorite, KFC, it's finger-licking good. Even some of the great business book titles work like this. Built to Last, From Good to Great, The 7 Habits of Effective People, and, well, Presenting to Win. Have a clear and simple presentation that is short, factual, include metrics, graphics, and demonstrate the key points that are being illustrated or articulated. And remember, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Chisel the words on each page to the bare conciseness. Scannability is key. Typically, a presentation should be no more than 10 to 15 slides. No more. The more distilled and simple, the better. As Mark Twain once said, and we paraphrase, if I had more time, I would have written a shorter letter. Each slide should be numbered and clearly labelled. Use large fonts and make sure the look and feel of the slides are professional and consistent. Keep in mind that there may be others who are not in the presentation who will be looking at the deck once they've been passed it by their colleague. And remember, when describing or selling something, use the following methodology. Explain the benefits and, most importantly, what it means to the target audience, what Jerry Wiseman calls the WIFI. WIFI stands for what's in it for you. All sales and presentations, while ostensibly about a product, are really about the needs of the audience. How well you convey that WIFI determines if you win. Most people just articulate the benefits, extolling the virtues of their product or company only. They forget to explain what it means to the target audience, assuming the audience somehow will get what it means telepathically. As Winston Churchill said, if you have an important point to make, don't try to be subtle. Hit the point once, then come back again and hit it again. Then hit it again a third time, a tremendous whack. Let us now talk about the key slides in the presentation. The logo and the one-liner with your contact information, including your website URL. The one-liner should describe the business, the short elevator pitch. We mentioned the above, the initial impression. This is critical communication message that all stakeholders will either say or hear from not only you, but your team, but all your staff, present and future, and anyone who talks about the business going forward. As an important sidebar, many investors research your website before they meet you, or you give them the presentation materials. And they also give those materials to another colleague, especially if there is an investment committee who research your company via your site. Make sure your website is clear, simple to use, and if there is a product offering via the site, make sure it works smoothly. Finally, make sure its messaging is exactly aligned with your presentation. Your vision and mission. A vision is a vivid image painted in words of what you want your business to be in the future based on your goals and aspirations. Having a vision gives a business clear focus to keep you and your team heading in the right direction. A mission statement is a short sentence or two declaring the purpose of the business and defines why the company exists. Ideally, it should convey the function, the markets, and the value proposition of your business, and if possible, your company ethos, your values or operating principles, and if you have one, the big, hairy, audacious goal. Next, it's the team. The management team is what the investor is backing in a startup or early stage company. It's their belief in whether you and your team can execute the plan that you propose. You have to give the investor permission to believe that you and your team have the experience, have the knowledge, have the relationships to succeed. Validation is key. If you have a credible advisor or investor already, list them, especially if they have credibility in the market or a company that's got specific experience. Help them understand why you're going to succeed. Give them permission to believe. The next slide is the problem. Explain the problem you are solving simply. Use research, quotes, and especially hard data to explain the issue and why the problem exists. You need to convey why this problem is worth tackling. This may or may not be part of the initial impression statement. It's your call. Now, the solution. Describe how your business will address the problem. You might have another slide here showing the process or technology or showing the solution graphically. Validation is key, including any early stage or alpha test customized verifying why your solution works. A quote or logos from known brands or known companies that validate interest or have tested the solution as proof of concept is always a winner. The next slide is the demo. Demonstrating your product and what it can do and how it works and what the solution is that you're proposing to investors is key. If you can demo it, it makes a much, much better presentation because then people have permission to believe that you can deliver and sell the solution that you've pitched to the people that are going to be investing in your company. The next slide is the business model. Explain how you make money. What is the pricing of your product and service? And what are the gross profit margins or metrics to show how your business works? Is it a subscription, pay as you go, enterprise software, or other business model? Show how your business can scale and can generate cash and profits. Next is your go-to-market strategy. Who is the customer? How do you market the company or product to attract customers, not chase them? What is the cost of customer acquisition? And most importantly, why your customers will pay for your product and service? And what is the value you're providing them? Again, add in any metrics or customer feedback to validate your strategy. Next should be the competition differentiation side. Give an overview of the competition, then explain why you are different and potentially better than the competition. It's important to show your knowledge of the market and the marketplace itself. It shows you've done your research to validate there is a need in the market for your product. Remember, 42% of companies fail in the first 5 years because there was not enough need in the market for the product. If products already exist in the market, you have to convince the investor why you and what makes you different from the competition, why you're better, and why people will buy from you. What is your differentiation? The market opportunity. Describe the market, the size of the market, making sure you reference any market research. Then show the market opportunity for your business. Be realistic. This is where you have to make assumptions about the market and your business and the impact you might have on the market. Make your pitch conservative but believable. Metrics, data, graphs, and references are all key to making this slide a killer one. Next is the financials. Get a qualified, experienced accountant, CFO, FD to help you make a 3 to 5 year financial model of the business. Then show them the summary P&L. The model ideally should be able to show different revenue profiles and have listed out your costs and potentially how, assuming and only this funding round is secured, what growth potential is for the business and how you will make money. The key issue here is to demonstrate to investors that you have spent time thinking about the revenues, the gross profit margins, the costs, the profits, the cash flows, and other financial issues that may impact your business. Showing that the model has a built-in sensitivity analysis always helps, as it gives investors confidence that you can adapt the business as it progresses through its growth journey. In summary, investors want to know that there is a safe pair of hands tracking their money and the overall finances of the company, the funding, any tax incentives are listed out for them to understand. Funding and any tax incentives for investors and the use of funds. How much money are you looking to raise and what are you giving the investors for their investment? Making sure you explain what is the investor's return on investment. Is there any tax benefits to the investor if they invest in your business? Angel investors in the UK might get SEIS or EIS tax relief if they invest. Or are you VCT qualified? This can often make the difference whether an investor invests in your business or another. Another UK tax relief is called investor relief. It is also important your business potentially eligible for R&D tax credit rebates or grants. This helps show investors that you investigated whether you can make the most of their money and make that money go further. Also explain how getting up to speed, their money can be used and how that money can actually create a self-sustainable business going forward. Remember, an investor has spent time earning or raising the cash to invest in you, and they're looking to mitigate their risk. So the more you can give them comfort that you and your team are a safe bet, the more likely you are to secure their investment. Finally, watch or have one of your team watch the reactions of the audience to each slide in the deck. Things you thought would go over well may not, and vice versa. The direct feedback you get will raise the chance of success for each succeeding presentation. Often you will find that investors ask questions that take you off track and away from the main presentation. 2 things to keep in mind here. Firstly, make sure you answer their question or concern, as many investors raise points they have learned through hard-won experience, or often they will ask questions to see if you're going to make the same mistakes that lost them money on their last investment. Secondly, once you have answered the question, go back to the core presentation to make sure you deliver your presentation in entirety. Use the presentation as a baseline for the pitch. It keeps you and the investor on the same agenda and results in a much more effective investor pitch overall. If you think this video delivers some educational value and you have a friend or colleague who's about to pitch or to start a business or secure some fundings to help them grow their business, then please forward this link to them with a recommendation from yourself. The most powerful marketing tool comes from word of mouth marketing. Good luck, happy hunting, and secure that investment.